Hello everyone, it is me, Louie, aka Duncan Gaming, and today I will be showing you a whole, bunch of my Thomas customs that I've made over the past few months, and going over some of the ones I've updated from my last video. So I've done quite a lot of work, as you can see, but without further ado, let's get on to the customs, and I'll also be showing you some behind the scenes screenshots. So before we actually get on to some of the new stuff, I did go back and update my Oliver. He has a new face with different eyebrows, and I actually gave him the whistle and window detailings and picked out his handrails in silver, which I forgot if I did the handrails last time or not, but I definitely added the whistle and window detailings that he didn't have before. Let's get on to some new characters. First we have my Thomas. The shade of blue I was going for was like a Thomas in the Magic Road style, how he appeared in that movie. The face was also trying to replicate that. So the blue is a mixture of white and dark blue I had, because I don't have a regular shade of blue. I printed off the side images of the number 1 and the lining by just taking a picture of the original take-along Thomas and editing the colours. I did the windows, the whistle, and I think he turned out pretty nice. Next is Percy. I gave him the Ertl phase because I think it looks better, and he just uses one colour, just neon green that I had. I didn't mixture any other colours like with Thomas and Oliver, but I think I prefer Thomas, but I still really like how this Percy came along. I just need to fix up his dome because he's lost some of his yellow paint, but I think he looks pretty nice. And both of these, I should mention, both of these were used out of a Take and Play, Thomas and Percy from 2009. So next we have Toby here. I edited his face to give him a different face expression, like the happy one from season 1. The number 7 was printed off. The colour I used was a mixture of light brown and black, but I think I made it a bit too dark. As you can see, it used a talking Toby before. I painted the side plates dark grey and the roof white, obviously, with the bell being yellow, but I quite like how he turned out. I mean, the shade brown's a bit off, but besides that, I quite like him. Alright, now we have Henry. He used a knockoff Take-Along Henry as the base and was painted in the same neon green as Percy. His face was inspired by the hit era version of his happy face, as you can tell, and then just printed off the lining, glued it on, did the handrails in silver, the lining in red. I am also working on a Gordon and Edward, which are the same colour as Thomas, but they are not finished by the time of me doing this video. The tender just used the same exact green, printed off the number 3. Again, same method as Thomas, just took pictures of the Take and Play Henry and edited the colours. It's not perfect, it's close. It's the closest I could get though, because my printer isn't the best. However, I really like how Henry turned out, and I can't wait to show you Edward and Gordon when they're finished. I also made one more extra plain black tanker, but nothing else to add here. It's just another tanker, the third one I have, so yeah, nothing else to add. Alright, let's get into some narrow gauge customs now. The first one is not really the best custom, but this character is called Butters. He's basically just the kid from South Park as a diesel, which me and my friends joke about. We give it a Thomas the Tank Engine styled face, but still keeping it looking like Butters from South Park. I don't know what this diesel is, but it is very detailed, and Butters is a yellow diesel, so I just put the custom Butters face on it, and I think it looks quite good. Now, I've already done this a couple of months ago, but I haven't showed it properly in a video yet, but here's the Renee. I gave it a new face. This was the Nakayoshi face instead of the Sahandel looking face that he had before. I painted him orange a couple of years ago, but yeah, new face, and he's actually Renee's now. Now, let's move on to my custom blue Duncan. He uses the Take-Along 2008 Duncan as a base, and uses the exact same shade of blue that I did Thomas, Edward, and Gordon, a mixture of dark blue and white, black buffer beam, black cab, and all that. It's basically just 2 colours, blue and black, and it was very easy. Gave him the back windows, which for some reason the original Take-Along Duncan doesn't have, printed the nameplates off, and I really like how this blue Duncan turned out. Blue is very suiting for him. You should know why I did this blue, because Douglas on the Tallyland Railway is also blue. Again, this next one barely counts as a custom, but I'm going to show it off anyways. It's Rusty with his Season 5 laughing face, the large scale one, and well, I don't even need to explain why I used this if you are familiar with some of my videos. Moving on. Here is Grimy, the diesel, based on that one diesel from the Tallyland Railway. He's just printed off Ned's face, he's got the number 11, his windows, he uses a mixture of yellow, neon green, and black, but a lot more black. It's basically just Oliver, the same colours I used for Oliver, but way more black. And he used an Ertl Rusty as a base. Same thing with this next character called Jamie. However, I taped off Grimy to make him look like a different body, and I think I did pretty good. Here's Jamie. He's a diesel. He's got a flimsy exhaust, so you've got to be careful there, but he uses a mixture of red and black, but it kind of came out a bit brown. I think I added too much black to him. He's meant to be lighter, but I still really like how he turned out. Unlike Grimy, he's just pure Rusty, Ertl Rusty. He wasn't modified or anything. Here's Sonic, who is an OC of my friend TP, and Jamie is also an OC of my friend Zach, I forgot to mention, but he, again, used the exact same shade of blue as Thomas and Duncan, and I used a little wooden stick for his funnel. I cut off Peter Sam's square funnel, and gave him, silver buffers, black running board, and then just painted his name and number in white, the lining, just modified Peter Sam's face to look slightly different, gave him different eyebrows, and I think he turned out quite nice. Again, I can't get over this shade of blue, it looks really nice on these engines. Alright, this next custom I have is the one and only Ivo Hue. I did used to have an Ivo Hue custom, but it was so bad. He uses a mixture of dark blue, red, and pink, and his face is printed off, the nameplate, even though it's not the same colour, it matches close enough, I guess. He uses the Take and Play Freddy body mold, which I probably should have used Take Along instead, since the buffer beam's more accurate, but white lining, did his, white lining on the boiler. I forgot to paint in his whistle, but I'll probably do that later, and his face printed off, taped off the side tanks to make him look different from Freddy. Alright, next one is Jensen, the Scottish Brute, also one of my friend's OCs. He uses the 2002 version of Take Along Duncan, and just like Henry and Percy, only uses one colour, just dark blue, unedited, just use that colour. Red lining, the Jensen nameplates, number 12, the silver wheels. I did previously paint this guy a lot of times, so that's why he doesn't look as smooth as the other customs, since this one's an older one, but I still really like how Jensen turned out. That shade of blue is nice, and let's move on to the next character, that being Rhett, the Foolish Engine. So I used a Take and Play Duke for the body and scratch built the tender using one of Rocky's flatbeds as a base, or whatever you call them. Face printed off, yellow lining, Rhett nameplates. The shade of blue is a mixture of the dark blue and neon green I had to make the sort of turquoisey look, and I think it looks really nice against that yellow. The giveaway that I used a Take and Play Duke instead of a Take Along Duke is because the funnel is a different shape. The Take Along funnel is much thinner than the Take and Play one, and the tender, scratch built out of card, glued onto one of Rocky's flatbed things, I don't know what they're called. I need to add proper core details later, but the number glued on 10, it was sort of inspired by Emily's tender, and he was actually originally going to use Emily's tender, but it looked far too big next to the Duke body, so just scratch built it instead. Next we have Fred the Lazy Diesel, one of the simplest customs, but one of my favourites. He's got a printed angry face, the Hunslet Fred 9 text, added a couple details and just plain card, unpainted. He just obviously uses black. The base is from a Take and Play Rusty that I unscrewed and took the body off, and I really like how Fred looks, probably my best custom. Next, we have Angelo the Tram Engine. He uses the body of a Take and Play Thomas, glued side plates on, painted black. There's the base, as you can see, wheels painted black, side plates glued on. The body is completely scratch built, made of card, painted in a mixture of pink and dark blue, and Angelo 13 printed off. The dome was made out of clay. Like Sonic, the funnel was out of just a wooden stick that I cut off, painted black and glued on. It's quite flimsy. And the whistle, it's really hard to get something good looking down there, so I just cut out a bit of card and then painted it yellow, because I tried to do something more accurate shaped, but it was just so fiddly, so I just did a bit of card instead. And last but not least, we have Tony the Trolley, my smallest and probably funniest custom. He looks so sad. He uses a Diesel 10 base. Again, the body is completely scratch-built, glued on. Inside of him are some newspapers and a little seat for someone to sit in, and some wooden poles just to make him sturdy and not break apart, even though he's quite fragile. Like, if I push on his roof a bit, then it's gonna bend, as you can see, but you just gotta be careful with Tony. He'll last if you treat him with respect. But yeah, definitely one of the easiest ones to make, one of the smallest, requires little effort, and yeah, that's basically all the customs. I hope you enjoyed the video.